In every person's life, whether making friends or finding business partners, associating with the wrong people not only leads to exhaustion and failure but can also bring about disaster. The ancients believed there are 3 types of people one must absolutely avoid to prevent regrettable consequences. The cruel and heartless. During the spring and autumn period, Guanzhong assisted Duke Huan of Qi in making the state of Qi prosperous. When Guanzhong was on his deathbed, Duke Huan came to him to discuss finding someone to help govern the country. Duke Huan believed that 3 men currently in court, Yi Ya, Xu Diao, and Kai Fang, were all devoted and loyal to him. Yi Ya was a very skilled chef. Previously, during the conversation, Duke Huan mentioned that as a chef seeking promotion, he joked that he had tasted every kind of food except human flesh. Intending to subtly dismiss him, unexpectedly, Yi Ya quietly killed his own son to serve as a meal to Duke Huan. When Duke Huan later learned of this, he was horrified, but from then on, he was impressed and intended to employ Yi Ya. The king of Qi entrusted the government to Guanzhong and spent his days in the palace enjoying the company of concubines. To enter the restricted areas of the palace to be near the king, Xu Diao castrated himself to serve in the palace. Kai Fang was originally a prince of the state of Wei, but he gave up his title to serve Duke Huan of Qi for 15 consecutive years. Even upon hearing of his father's death, Kai Fang did not leave Duke Huan to attend the funeral. Therefore, Duke Huan placed great trust in these 3 men. However, when Duke Huan proposed these 3, Guanzhong said, "If a person does not even love themselves or their own kin, how can they sincerely love their country and their king? You must stay away from these 3." After Guanzhong passed away, Duke Huan insisted on employing those 3. As a result, once they held power, they acted recklessly and threw the court into chaos. Ultimately, Duke Huan died of starvation inside his own palace. Thus, the ancients believed that someone who is cold and indifferent toward their own family is born with a heart of stone, cruel and heartless. Such people must never be befriended. The one who does not keep their word. Zheng Shen, Zhengzi, was a famous Confucian scholar during the spring and autumn period. A native of the state of Lu, he was one of the 72 virtuous disciples of Confucius. Once, Zheng Shen's wife wanted to leave the house, but their young child cried and insisted on following her. His wife said, "Stay home and play nicely. When I return, I will slaughter our pig for you to eat." In reality, she only said that in jest to coax the child into staying behind. Unexpectedly, Zheng Shen actually slaughtered the pig while at home. He said, "If we deceive the child today, tomorrow the child will deceive us and others. If we do not keep our word today, tomorrow the child will no longer trust us." Confucius taught, "If a man lacks trustworthiness, I do not know what he may be good for." This means a person without credibility can achieve nothing. A gentleman, Junzi, says what he means and acts with results. Therefore, in daily life, if you cannot keep a promise, do not make one easily. If a person always makes promises and fails to deliver, they will gain a reputation for being untrustworthy. From then on, they will forever lose the trust of others, and no one will dare to rely on them. A person who does not keep their word is also irresponsible. Such a person should not be befriended. The one who only seeks personal gain. The Qing dynasty official Zheng Guofan once said, "To work with those who only seek profit is to invite burden upon oneself." This means if you cooperate or associate with those who only focus on their own interests, you will eventually be implicated. In society, there are always people who only seek benefit for themselves. In their hearts, they eternally prioritize profit, always wanting to exploit others, and are ready to betray friends and family for gain. If you associate with such people, at best, you will be the one they exploit. At worst, you may become a scapegoat when they encounter danger. Naturally, they may reward you, but what they give back is always a tiny fraction compared to the profit they reap. Therefore, such a person should naturally be avoided. The gentleman is gentle as jade, resolute as iron. Jade is gentle in nature, making it easy to love. Iron is resilient. The more it is tempered, the harder it becomes. A true gentleman is as gentle as jade yet as immovable as iron. They have a broad heart that can encompass 100 rivers. Yet they remain steadfast in their chosen path. The gentleman is gentle and tolerant as jade. In Guanzi, Xin Shu, it says, "The heart within the body is the ruler." This means one's state of mind determines the person. It is the most important thing. Comparable to the king of that life. A person with a broad mind and an open character will remain calm and tranquil whether facing favorable or adverse circumstances. Consequently, the path of their life is always open. The scholar Su Dongpo was a famous figure of the Song dynasty. Known as one of the 8 great prose masters of ancient China. He possessed extraordinary poetic talent, but his political career was fraught with obstacles. Because he opposed changes in new policies, Su Dongpo was punished and demoted many times. Once, he was banished to Hainan Island, which at the time was considered a desolate land with a poisonous atmosphere. Others sent to Hainan usually lost their spirit. But Su Dongpo did not think so. He took the opportunity to spread teachings, write books in a thatched hut, and educate the people, helping Hainan produce its first scholar, Jinshi, in history. He turned his unfortunate journey into a miracle. A gentleman does not lament their fate, instead, they become a sower of seeds for flowers to bloom everywhere, wherever they go. Spring follows. They can be at peace in any situation, not losing heart in adversity, but silently accepting and quietly changing things. A gentleman is like deep water, quiet and not boastful, yet able to silently do many useful things. No matter how great the calamity, it cannot make them lose heart. When Su Dongpo returned, Zhang Dun, the man who had once framed him, wrote to beg for forgiveness. Su Dongpo simply wrote, "The past is gone. What is the use of speaking of it further?" Su Dongpo's life of wandering was caused by Zhang Dun, yet he could write such a gentle sentence to put the past aside. He even showed concern for Zhang Dun's illness, advising him to rest. This is the gentleman as gentle as jade. Within that calmness is dignity and tolerance. A resolute will, immovable as iron. As a child, under his mother's education, Su Dongpo set his will to become a gentleman who did not fear power and who brought blessings to the people. His inner determination never wavered throughout his life. In his youth, he was among those who protected old laws and dared to criticize new ones, confronting high-ranking officials because the implementation of new laws disturbed the people. In his middle age, when the new laws were abolished, he did not simply follow the crowd. He dared to condemn the way the old laws were being implemented because they harmed the populace. In Guangzhou, Weizhou, Danzhou, water conservancy, disaster relief, teaching, there was no task he did not care for. Even in hardship, he spread national strategies. Even when falling into the dust of the world, he still sacrificed for the common people. He treated people gently, without contention or irritation. When a drunkard bumped into him on the street, he only said, "I am secretly glad I wasn't recognized." From beginning to end, despite a turbulent career, Su Dongpo remained steadfast in his goals. Difficulties were merely the tempering process for iron. A gentleman is resilient and possesses ideals that cannot be trampled. As Mencius said, "Neither riches nor honors can corrupt him. Neither poverty nor humble condition can make him swerve. Neither power nor force can make him bend." Ancient wisdom. Only with virtue can one play well. In the record of music, Uag, of the Book of Rites, Li Ji, it is written, "A person with virtue has a righteous character." And for a musician, only with virtue can one play well. Great music depends on virtue. Music can cultivate one's character, educate the world, connect with the divine, and bring harmony to heaven and earth. Thus, the ancients valued the influence of music on the human heart, using music to assist ritual, li, and using music to govern the state. The ability to educate through education within entertainment became the primary function of music. Confucianism specifically values the practical moral significance of music. Confucius taught to change social customs and transform folk traditions. Nothing is better than music, to stabilize the body and mind and govern the world. Nothing is better than the code of rites. The reason music can educate is that its form is beloved by people. Music has melody, rhythm, and strong expressive power, as soon as one hears the sound. The heart follows, silently nourishing all things. Speaking of music, one must mention ritual. Music is the sound of virtue. While ritual regulates human thoughts and behavior, traditional culture harmonizes music and ritual into a complete system. Ritual and music bring harmony to yin and yang, connect with the spirits, and are profound. They harmonize all things in society, directing hearts toward goodness and purifying the social atmosphere, thereby achieving national peace. There are many types of music with different levels. The ancients believed that only when a sound conforms to the Tao can it be called music. Chaotic and decadent sounds violate heavenly principles. They do not restrain human indulgence and lead people toward decline or tyranny, eventually destroying humanity. This is the sound of a fallen nation. True music is an expression of the way of heaven, helping people forge morality, cultivate their character, and serve as a gateway to virtue while enjoying the music. During the spring and autumn period, Marquis Wen of Wei once asked Zi Sha, "What is the difference between ancient music and modern music?" Zi Sha replied, "Ancient music is the elegant music, Yaiwei, passed down by sages from the times of the Yellow Emperor, Emperor Yao, and Emperor Shun. Like the Ham Kai of the Yellow Emperor, the Dai Zhang of Yao, the Shao of Shun, and the Sha of Yu, the melodies are peaceful, solemn, and rich in meaning. When a gentleman hears this, he can speak of the principles of ancient music, honor heaven with virtue, and reflect on self-cultivation, regulating the family, governing the state, and bringing peace to the world. Modern music can only be called vulgar sound. These chaotic and debauched performances express a frenzy to satisfy material desires, leaving listeners with a withered will or arrogance. This music lacks inner substance. Most are the works of dim-witted kings and treacherous officials. Completely contrary to the spirit of governing with virtue, it harms morality and thus cannot be called music. The moral substance of music far exceeds technical skill and is the cultural essence a society needs. Furthermore, the choice of noble or vulgar taste in music relates to the general style of an era, reflecting high or low social moral standards, and whether governance is transparent or murky. If music carrying the virtue of a gentleman plays a leading role, preaching the use of virtue to govern the world, it will help people prioritize self-cultivation and promote social prosperity. The joy of a flourishing age is widespread and peaceful, making people feel stability and harmony. Hearts turning toward goodness is a blessing for all living beings. The golden ages of Chinese history, the reigns of virtuous kings like Yao, Shun, King Wen of Zhou, King Wu of Zhou, and Emperor Taizong of Tang, all included the virtue of ritual and music. The substance of music is primary, technique is secondary. This substance is only obtained through the moral cultivation of the performer. Outstanding composers throughout history have been people of high cultivation. Shi Kuang of the spring and autumn period was honored by later generations as the music sage. His lofty character brought him profound musical knowledge. He is the most direct testament to the saying, "Only with virtue can one play well." He composed profound, ethereal pieces of elegant music like Yang Chun, Sunny Spring, and Bai Shui, White Snow. The melody of White Snow belongs to the Shang note, clear and transcendent like bamboo amidst white snow. Yang Chun belongs to the Gong note, describing the spring of all things in a leisurely gentle breeze. The songs express the state of mind of a gentleman, keeping oneself pure, heart untainted by the dust of the world, pursuing high morality and lofty goals. All feudal lords sought to hear his music. Legend has it that every time Shi Kuang touched the zither, it was very solemn and in accordance with ritual. He used a righteous mindset to express a deep and profound realm, a state where body and mind unite and connect with heaven and earth. Listening to his music allowed hearts to be transformed by goodness and the realm of thought to be elevated. The inner realm and the artistic realm share a close resonance. An accurate aesthetic view and high moral standards, along with profound inner substance and life philosophy, help people perceive the eternal heavenly way. Thus, true art originates from traditional culture and divinely inspired culture. To have a beautiful sound from the zither, one must certainly promote virtue.